Kia ora, nauma ki te whare. Welcome to the House, ko Louis Collins aho. This week at Parliament, you got the feeling that the government was keen to tie up all the loose ends left over from the last sitting block. The House ground through the remaining 6 hours of the budget debate, stages of bills that were part of budget urgency, and on Thursday afternoon resumed the debate on the Privileges Committee report. That report is of course concerning the haka performed by various MPs during the vote on the first reading of the Principles of the Treaty of Waitangi Bill back in November last year. 7 months later, MPs debated on Thursday whether the recommended punishments in the report were fair. Those recommended punishments were a 7-day suspension for Hanara Whitimaipi Clark and for the Te Pāti Māori co-leaders, a suspension of 21 days. Before it was interrupted in the last sitting block, the House heard from just 2 MPs, Privileges Committee Chair Judith Collins, who endorsed the recommended punishment, and Labour leader Chris Hipkins, who said it was too harsh. The whole haka affair has gone on a long time, and some parties, more than others, clearly wanted it over with. Here's Chris Bishop during Thursday's debate.
My view is that New Zealanders are over this debate. New Zealanders want the country to be focused on what Parliament is there for, which is to debate the big issues facing the country. So my strong encouragement to members from the other side of the Parliament who have at various points, it's varied a bit to be fair, but at various points have indicated that they will have an elongated debate. That is a choice over to them, but my encouragement would be for everybody to finish this debate today, have a robust debate, but let's end this issue once and for all, deal with the issue and get back to the major issues facing this country.
Labour's Duncan Webb was first up to speak for the opposition on Thursday, and unsurprisingly he echoed the sentiments that his boss offered in the first bit of the debate. But he also added some insight as Privileges Committee Deputy Chair into the precedents of it all.
We're all familiar with the haka. It's a well understood ritual, and in this case it was energetic and it was theatrical. It's intended to express things like anger, challenge or endurance over adversity. But at its heart, it was a performance. There was never any suggestion of physical violence. It was never remotely likely. And it's well known that those 3 members chose not to attend the Privileges Committee or provide any explanation. They weren't required to attend the committee. They were not called to attend and therefore did not have to. Whilst they can't claim credit for cooperation, nor can they say they were denied an opportunity to explain, neither can they be punished. It appears that some members of the committee may feel affronted that members didn't come to the committee when they were invited. They may even consider that the members were defiant in not attending. However, they were not required to attend. This is no justification for the imposition of a punishment which is disproportionate and arbitrary.
Because the moot was focused on punishment, the debate had this sort of courthouse sentencing vibe to it. Te Pāti Māori MP Taku Te Wheres assumed a sort of defence lawyer role for his colleagues.
Let me now address the root cause of this debate. This debate is not about a haka. It is not about a suspension. It's not about the interruption of a vote. It is at its heart about the fact that this House continues to ignore Te Tiriti o Waitangi. That this House continues to ignore Māori sovereignty, and that this House continues to ignore all of the constitutional rights that flow forth from those 2 things. The fact of the matter is simple. Without Māori sovereignty, there is no Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Without Te Tiriti o Waitangi, there is no constitutional right for the presence of the Crown in this part of the world. And without the constitutional right, there is no Parliament.
New Zealand First Leader Winston Peters, also a Privileges Committee member, opted for the attack the player, not the ball approach, and then turned his attention to Labour.
No ordinary Māori or non-Māori should accept the behaviour of the intent of this party of absolute extremists, screaming out that everybody else in the Parliament is here only by their behest. Have a look in the mirror. Mr Ferris, look in the mirror. What is the majority of your DNA? What's the majority of your DNA? Well, if you're disgraced by your, if you're disgraced by your European DNA, we over here are not. Look, there are some Conservative Labor MPs. Some Conservative Labor MPs must be having cold sweats every night. Because where do you go now? You can't go there, and you can't go there, because you go there and there, you won't be over here. Get that part right. You can't go there, and I hope that some sober, conservative, right-thinking Maori people in the Labour Party wake up before it's too late. These people are a nightmare.
Labour's Willie Jackson could have chosen to rebut Peters, but instead he focused his speech on Te Pāti Māori, encouraging them to compromise and sort of played the role of good cop.
Now I want to say to Te Pāti Māori after all this kōrero today, you know I love you. You know I love you guys. You know I love you. But a little bit of compromise could help the situation. I know it's like, I get the tino rangatiratanga stuff, but a little, I know it better than anyone, but a little step back, you know, a sorry wouldn't go, you know, like, why not say sorry for Rawiri Waititi abusing the Privileges Committee? Why not say sorry for leaking stuff to social media? Why not say sorry for not turning up to the committee? I know it's hard to apologise, but I want to say to Te Pāti Māori, not every single Māori in the country supports you. And they don't support some of the strategy. They love you, I love you. But some of the stuff is not going down well. This is a tikanga Pākehā place. There ain't no tino rangatiratanga here. There ain't no tino rangatiratanga here. This is the centre and the celebration of the Westminster system. And I think our challenge, as you know, is that we have to imbue some of our Māori culture into the system. So we have to get a partnership going. And I don't think the kōrero so far is going to help with the partnership.
The House also got to hear from the ACT Party, who Te Pāti Māori MPs did the haka in front of. Here's Karen Chaw, who said she felt saddened by the hostility of it all.
I've listened to the speeches across this House and the hate and the anger that's been chucked from both sides of this House. And it actually really saddens me. Really saddens me. You know, and somebody can say, I don't have the right to stand here and speak, but that's what this place is about. You can have the interjection from that side and say, I'm not going to stay here and I'm not going to listen to this. But 4.5 years ago, when I had the privilege of being elected into this place, I felt that burden of what was expected of me when I came to this place, to represent the people that I wanted to come here to make a better life for. I fought my whole life, Mr. Speaker. I fought my whole life to be respected. I fought my whole life to know my worth. I've never felt less than since I've been in this place.
Another member of Labour's Māori caucus, Adrian Rurefe, followed a similar line as his colleague Willie Jackson, adding that the precedent set by the Privileges Committee opens up the option of punishing the opposition.
Madam Speaker, there's no winners in this debate.
That's right.
Each party in this House might think that they're winning by talking to the people that support them. But there is no winners in this debate. None. Especially not this House. Te Pāti Māori has the opportunity to have a huge legacy in this place. Not now, but into the future. But that's the choice of Te Pāti Māori. There are a lot of people out there watching right now who will be agreeing with the narrative that you are saying. They will absolutely 100% agree. I say to them that when you come into this House, you swear the oath, whether it's on the Bible or on your word, you agree to the rules of this House. You can't have it both ways. You have to use the mechanisms of this House, and in this instance, the Standing Orders Committee, to change those standing orders. The Privileges Committee of the future will have a new precedent, without a doubt, a new range of penalties against members who err in the future. You can guarantee that. Can also guarantee that government of the day in the future will feel very free to use those penalties to punish their opponents. This is what we are doing in the House today.
The last to speak during the debate was the Green's Steve Abel, who also picked up on the courthouse feel of it all.
We're not supposed to critique the courts, Madam Speaker, but I guess this is a court of our Parliament. The Privileges Committee represents the Parliament. We have two of the most senior members of this Parliament on that Privileges Committee, the then Deputy Prime Minister, Winston Peters, the Attorney General, Judith Collins, and two of the most senior members, both lawyers, have punished egregiously one of the newest members of this Parliament. What is the message that sends to young people watching about the justice of this House to newcomers to the House? What is the message that it sends about a young Māori woman who has come and spoken with such certainty of the people she represents? I think it sends a very bad message, Madam Speaker.
After a good 3 hours or so spent debating, the House finally came to voting. All amendment papers put forward by the opposition were voted down, while the original motion supporting the punishment recommended by the Privileges Committee was passed, thereby kicking off the suspension period for the 3 Te Pāti Māori MPs. They also give up their votes in the House during that time.
Te Pāti Māori.
6 votes opposed.
It's now my understanding, can I please clarify that because Hana Rafiri Maipe Clark is suspended, Te Pāti Māori has 5 votes? That is correct.
5 votes opposed.
Te Pāti Māori.
4 votes opposed.
I te whakarongo koe ki te whare. You've been listening to The House, a program made with funding from Parliament's Office of the Clerk. Mātua.